Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. It's your boy Porter Rock 77 coming back at you with another video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification if you want to see more knowledge and truth. And if you like the video, would you be so kind to hit the like button? So I'm back in a new location. I'm in Italy now. Finish off the last half of my trip. Work related anyway. But I'm chilling. Arrived about maybe an hour ago to the hotel. I'm tired. About to kick it off. I'm about to play some Metro Exodus. I was going to play Death Stranding, but the internet's not good here. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'll just play some Metro Exodus right now and do my thing. But, you know, yesterday big news came out, but I didn't have time to make a video. But I'm doing it today. All right? So the big news is MLB and Sony announced that they renegotiated or they extended the multi-year licensing deal that Sony has for Major League Baseball to continue with the show series and have it officially licensed with the Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association. So, you know, legit players and all that stuff, right? But the twist in this whole thing is that the games will now be available on multiple platforms. It's no longer a PlayStation exclusive. After it was announced, you know, a couple of channels announced it, like MLB Twitter account announced it. You've seen Microsoft, Xbox official Twitter account, they retweeted it. Nintendo's official Twitter account, they retweeted it. So it's reasonably assumed, you can reasonably assume that MLB The Show, starting with 2021, will be on Xbox, will be on Nintendo, will be on PC, will be a multi-platform game, right? So I'll be honest, I never factored in MLB caring what platforms the game comes on. From an advertisement aspect, I could see why. They want the MLB image to be spread across. This past baseball season, Yankees and Boston Red Sox played in England. They had a 2-game series in England. So they're trying to expand. You know, so, you know, they're trying to, you know, a lot of the American sports are trying to go global. So now they have also baseball series in Mexico. They're just trying to expand. And I just never... I'll be honest, it never dawned on me that MLB would care where the games are being played. It just, that just never, you know, to me, I always saw these licensings from the NFL, MLB, NHL as simply, yeah, here, use our name, give us money. And then that's it. That's what they care about. They let the video game developers, you know, publishers do what they want. Just as long as they give them money, they didn't really get involved in that. Sure, maybe a little bit of marketing and stuff like that, but I didn't think they went that deep. But it is what it is. So a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, we know who, these bots, right? These chicken McNugget gamers, right? They're doing the most now, all right? David Jaffe, creator of God of War, said it best, right? And Colin Moriarty, they said it best. And this was my assumption too. Given that MLB announced this and this announcement about the games going multiplat came at the same time with the extension of the multi-year deal to retain the license, it's easy to assume, it's reasonable to assume that in order for Sony to keep the license for MLB, right, so it be used for the show games, they had to meet MLB's wishes of expanding the game and providing it to other players beyond PlayStation, right? If they didn't agree to that, then MLB wouldn't give them permission. And then at that point, the show would just be that. It would just be the show, and it would not have MLB players. It would just be generic players, generic cities. It will still be, gameplay-wise, a great design game. But it wouldn't have the New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, the stadiums. It wouldn't have that great flair that people expect from Major League Baseball. And nobody would buy it. Nobody would buy the show purely just on the gameplay, you know. Part of the fun and aspect is the players, the historic players, the uniforms, all that stuff. You know, World Series, the whole shebang, you know. It's bringing Major League Baseball to your house. And given the fact that Sony has a dedicated studio, San Diego Studios, which is owned by them, and they release this game like clockwork every single year, so this studio makes money off of MLB every single year. And on top of that, this is one of the few games where Sony actually follows the games as a service model. You know, the money transactions, you know, the stubs, Diamond Dynasty, all these things that other sports companies use, like EA has with Madden, 2K has with, 2K basketball. That's really in terms of sports, that's how they generate money every year in consistent revenue through their microtransaction games as a service model. They don't have a lot of games that do that, all right? Really, I think MLB is probably their main type of game that follows the games as a service model. So to lose on the license would be a huge loss for Sony. It would be huge because now their studio won't have, the face of baseball for their games. Some people mention, well, Sony could just have San Diego Studios do another game now. Just change them. It's not going to work. Not because they don't have the talent. It's because the studio's designed to release a new game, make money off a new game every single year. I'm sure the developers could try a new game, an RPG, a first-person shooter, but it's going to take a while. It's going to take 3-4 years to get to that point, especially if they never planned on doing it. They have to start from the drawing board, what type of genre they want to tackle, and then all that stuff, right? So they'll probably be working on that for 5 years, right? Now think about that. If they were to start from scratch on a new IP, and it doesn't come out for 5 years, they went from releasing a game every single year to now, for 5 years, they don't release nothing. And I don't think financially that specific developers is designed for that. I think they're expected to make some form of revenue. Maybe not a lot. Maybe not like, when Santa Monica releases God of War type revenue, or when Insomniac releases Spider-Man, or when Naughty Dog releases Uncharted type revenue. Those guys, they release games every 3-4 years, whatever. So when they release games, it needs to be big. As for MLB, it doesn't have to be big because, it comes out every year. But they still have to generate something. Now all of a sudden they're going to go 3-4 years, 5 years with no money whatsoever. Probably not going to work. If anything, Sony probably would have shut the studio down, sadly, if they didn't get this licensing deal. As sad as it is, they probably would have shut the studio down and then probably took the talent and spread it across their first party, or the guys would just be out of a job. Worst case scenario, which would be terrible. So, in this scenario, make the game Multiplat or lose the licensing, it's a no-brainer. They're going to make the game Multiplat. They'll make more money versus losing money and losing a studio and stuff. Now, how does this relate to Sony's first party IP? A lot of people are looking at the other games, right? And using these examples as a reason of why Sony is going to go full multi-platform. They use Death Stranding and recently Predator as examples, right? And Detroit. We'll use Detroit as another example. If you notice those games, if you notice this whole scenario completely, even with MLB, right? Even though the show's made by a first-party studio, if you look at all these games, they all have one thing in common. And the one thing that's in common is these games also have another entity that serves their own interest. For example, Detroit, right? But it's made by Quantic Dreams. Quantic Dreams wants to be a multi-plat developer. They got signed by another publisher. I forgot. It's a Chinese company. I forgot their name. Starts with an N. Net Games, I think it is. Net Games, I think, right? To help develop multi-platform games, right? So obviously, Quantic Dreams don't just want to make games for PlayStation. They're trying to build a bigger portfolio and be a big multi-platform developer. Take a look at Kojima. Kojima left Konami, and he created his own studios. Pretty sure his studio wants to go beyond just making PlayStation games, right? That's another example. Predator Underground, or Predator Hunting Grounds, right? It's made by a developer who probably wants to expand and develop on multiple platforms. All these entities and all these games are associated with somebody else that has their own goals, and their goals is simply not make a PlayStation exclusive so PlayStation can sell more consoles. That's not part of their main interest. So what does Sony do? Sony leverages these parties for, at a minimum, to bring content first to the PlayStation platform before their competitors, And Sony mentioned this for the PlayStation 5. They will continue to do that to support the hardcore, right? They said that up front. We're for the hardcore gamers. So they're going to go after third-party titles to try to make them exclusive, timed exclusive, or at least provide exclusive content to the PlayStation family.
So they're going to try one of those things. If they can make the game exclusive, they're going to do it. If the developer's like, no, we don't want to make it exclusive, but they want to make it time exclusive, they'll do that too. And if the developer, publisher doesn't want to do that at all, can you at least provide exclusive content? Some way, somehow, they're going to give the advantage to the PlayStation gamer over all other gamers to give the big portfolio to make the whole platform looks good. So do I think, and I know on Twitter, I'm trolling and talking trash, but in reality, I still think for their first-party IPs, the big ones, that's developed by Sony's first party, right, with no licensing or any other crap, they're going to try to keep it exclusive to the PlayStation 5 because they're interested in the revenue that PlayStation 5 makes. A lot of conversations about, well, Sony don't make money off hardware, they make money off software. I'm going to make a separate video on that topic. And I'm going to explain this whole how Sony makes money, how I'm going to explain the difference between first party making money in games and third party making money in games. Because they're two different. Even though they do the same thing, there's a huge difference between the two. There's a reason why Microsoft still wants to make a console. There's a reason why Nintendo makes consoles, you know. Using your logic, using everyone's logic, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo shouldn't even be making consoles. They should just go third party and let somebody else make the console so they can make money. There's a reason why they're in the console business and the hardware business, right? And I'm going to explain that in a different video because I don't want to make this video too long, whatever. But anyway, I don't think the things we've been seeing reflects on what they're going to do in terms of The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, future Spider-Man games, Killzone, Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, the actual first-party major properties, right? All these other stuff are designed, except for MLB, but as I said, I never realized MLB would be interested in where the show is playable at. Anyway, but this is your boy, PorterRock77. Let me know what you think. I want to know, for all you guys on PC and Xbox, Nintendo, are you happy MLB The Show is? Or are you just happy that it's on your platform so you can talk shit? How many of you people are actually interested in playing the show? Now that's on your platform, 2021, it's a great baseball game, right? For those of you that are interested in baseball, it's crazy. If you need help, if you need tips, if you guys like sports but you were never interested in baseball and you know, you find it boring, you don't really understand what's the point, let me know. I'll explain it to you. I'll explain the science. Baseball is more like a game of chess, and I can explain it to you. It's all about chess moves. That's what it is, right? It's more of a mind game and all that stuff, more than it is like soccer, football, or hockey, which is high-powered, you know, fast and whatever. Baseball is a very slow, chess-like sport. You know what I'm saying? And I can explain it, you know, in the DM. Just hit me up on Twitter, PorterRock77_, and we can have the conversation. But anyway, let me know what you think. Hit up the comment section. What you think about this? Are you pissed? Are you angry? Screw Sony and all that stuff. Let me know what you think. This is your boy, PorterRock77. Hit the like button and subscribe. I will push out more content. I will give you more comments. I will not just simply report the news and that's it, verbatim. I'm going to give you my perspective on this, all right? Anyway, your only friend in these YouTube streets, and I'm out. Peace.